What's up, class? Here we go with our lesson 6.05 in ELA. I'm going to say that this is actually what I call part A. Because we split our days, we don't just do one lesson per day. We split it into 2 days, like we always have. I'm going to say that this is part A to this. This is where you are going to begin in Canvas doing starting this lesson off with your slides to begin with. And during this time, my friends, you are going to make sure that there are 12 slides to this lesson. You are going to stop on slide 6. This lesson continues on with comparing and contrasting. Now, this lesson, you won't have too much to do in this lesson. However, you will have to make sure that you complete your journal topic. You for sure are going to have to complete your journal topic. Number two, you need to make sure that you have your module 6 packets for ELA out. There are some things that we will be working on today within this lesson. So you want to make sure you have your packets out. We are going to be looking at two stories. Let me pull them up here. Yeah, we're going to be looking at two stories like we had before. You got to take your time. Remember, we are still looking at what the author's point is. What is the author's point? What is the author trying to prove? And how are they trying to prove this? Through their reasons and how they feel about things. So I want you to make sure you keep that in your mind because it will come up on your assessment that you will be doing on Friday. Okay? So you want to make sure that you got your module. You want to make sure that you got your module 6 packet out. There also are, of course, are stories in this packet. We will be going through what we call contractions within this lesson. So there are a couple of things that you need to make sure that you have ready to go. Okay? So we got the Chippewa, and we also have the Mohawk lives passage that we will be looking at. Another thing that you will have to make sure that you have that is in your packet, in your module 6 packet, is this organizer, this graphic organizer that goes with this, that actually goes with this lesson. So let me go ahead and I'm going to pull up a couple of things because I'm not going to spend too much time with you today focusing on this because you've got some work to do, my friends. Okay. So I know this graphic organizer looks very similar to what we worked on in 6.03, where we talked about the Cree people in the community and we filled it out together and all of this stuff. Okay. This time you are going to need to fill it out by yourself. And you will have to turn this in. This will be your assignment for tomorrow to complete. However, I do want to make sure I go through stories with you. I want you to make sure that you are looking at the text features in the story, such as table of contents and also the glossary that's at the end. I want you to pay attention to some of the headings, what we call headings in the story here. Okay? So we are going to look at this first story is the Chippewa story. I'm not too sure. Let me see which one they go through first. Okay, they go through the Chippewa story first. Okay, the Chippewa story. Excuse me, it's not story, it's the text. So let me correct myself. It's the text, it's a passage. So in the Chippewa passage, our first thing that we're reading is where do they live? The Chippewa are a large Native American tribe. They are also known as Ojibwe. I think that's I think that's how you pronounce it. They come from the southern they come from southern Canada and the northern United States. Okay? Live in homes called wigwams and teepees. These homes are made of wood and animal skin. Okay. What did they eat? The Chippewa people harvested wild rice. The men used poles to steer through the reeds. The women would knock rice grains into the canoe. They ate nuts, corn, fish, and buffalo. They also hunted deer and wild turkey. What did they do? Chippewa men were hunters and women took care of the home. They enjoyed creating art. They made beadwork, baskets, and dream catchers. Chippewa children played with birch bark dolls and bows and arrows. Today, Chippewa children play like other American any other American children. All right. So they gave us a glossary here. Glossary has three words: buffalo, a large animal, also known as a bison; dream catcher, artistic hoop decorated with a net or web; reed, a tall, skinny plant that grows in the water. Okay. So that's our Chippewa people. So they told us where they live, what they eat, what they do. Okay. They gave us three things. Okay. Three things. So I want you to think about mhm, the author. What is the author trying to tell us? What is the point of him writing about the Chippewa people? So think about that. Okay. Now let's go over to the Mohawk lives. Okay. Let's look at the pattern here. They're going to tell us where did they live, what did they eat, what they do, and we get a glossary. It's very similar to our previous text that I just read. So let's go ahead and go through it. Where did they live? The Mohawk are a large Native American tribe. They come from the New York State in Canada. They lived in homes called longhouses. The houses were large rectangular buildings. Many families could live in them together. What, oh, excuse me, what did they eat? Mohawk people harvested corn, beans, and squash. Mohawk women harvested berries and herbs. They made cornbread and soup. The men hunted deer and elk, and they were also skilled at fishing. What did they do? Mohawk men were hunters, and women took care of home. They enjoyed creating art. They made sacred masks and enjoyed beadwork. Mohawk children played a sport called lacrosse. Today, Mohawk children play like any other American child or children. Let's look at some of the words in our glossary here. Cornbread. I know many of you know what cornbread is, but here it is. Bread made from cornmeal. Beadwork. The art of attaching beads to each other through thread to create a pattern. Lacrosse. A game where a ball is thrown using a net attached to a stick. Okay. All right. So my friends, we are going to talk about this. We need to talk about this. We need to be upfront. You be real in this. You got to be able to compare and contrast these two sports. Okay. On this worksheet here, And you are going to make sure you listen. I'm going to put this video on here for the rest of 6.05 because I can't see myself going back reading this story again when you can just rewind it and play it again. Now if we're comparing and contrasting these two texts and we're looking at the differences and we're looking at we're looking at the difference between Chippewa and the Mohawk people, and then we're looking at how they are similar. So remember when we did this last time, the easiest thing for us to do was find things that were alike with the two. Okay. So you got to make sure that you have both of your stories up. You can do this while you are watching this video. This will be best for you to do because when you slide over here to Thursday, excuse me, this is for Tuesday, but when you slide over here for Wednesday, you are going to have to turn in the sim with the differences and also the similarities between these two tribes. Okay, it's going to be this is not hard. You need to just look at how are they alike. Okay, how are they alike? You're going to break it down just like how we did before. We are going to look at okay, where are they from? Okay, they said where do they live? Mohawk are a large Native American tribe. Okay, what was Chippewa? Chippewa, a large Native American tribe. Okay, so they're what? Similar. They're both large American tribes. Okay, now then we can look at okay, they're they're both large American tribes. Okay, what else do we know about them? What else do we know about them? Okay, okay, I'm going to give you a chance to think about this because now we're looking at okay, we already know there's a similarity in where they live. Okay, so now let's go back and look at the Mohawk. Let me put this over here so it's easier. Okay, so we're looking at okay, what are they eating? All right, all right. So then let's look at the Chippewa. What are they eating? Okay, so there are some similarities there. Okay, they both eat what? They both eat corn. So that's okay. So now we're looking at our chart here. Remember, there's three boxes. You need three things that are similar. Ooh, that's easy. Large American tribe, Native American tribe, first box. Number two is they both harvest corn. Okay, so now we're looking at what do they do. Okay, so what do the people do? Okay, so they were hunters. Chippewa were hunters. The women took care of home. The men were hunters, and the women took care of home. Those are similar. So tell me how this is difficult. I don't get it. Listen to what I'm saying. Take it in. Think about it. You got to learn how to do this on your own. So this is what you want to do on your own. This will be your assignment for Wednesday, and you better turn it in, or you're gonna get a zero. You got to take your time to do your work. You got this. You know how to do this. You've done this in class. You told me where everything goes. I know you know how to do it. Now that we know how they are similar, now you need to read through both of the stories one more time and figure out how they are alike. Now, if you are not given a paper copy like this of the story, that is what's fun. You can go right here on slide number 5 and listen to the story. They're reading the story to you. They're reading it. They're reading it. They're going through it. On slide number 6, they're going through this second story. Okay? And then they are going through. Okay? They are helping you go through some of these things. Come on now. Let's go. You got this. Okay? So now they're going to go through contractions. You will go get in deep into your contraction work. You will finish. This will be the video for Tuesday and Wednesday. On Thursday, you will do a contractions video. By this time, today, um, you're going to listen to this the first time. Take out your packet. Fill out your graphic organizer that looks like this in your packet. It's 6.05. It looks just like this. You are going to fill out your similarities and then you're going to fill out your differences. This should be, that means that on Wednesday, you should be looking at this video again to help you out. Okay? Next, you are going to make sure that you turn this in. You're going to type this into Canvas and then turn it into me. All right? And I'll see you all next class. The next class you should see with me should be Friday.